We'll call the meeting to order. Do roll call. Linda,
Here.
Jean,
Yeah.
Greg,
Yep.
Byron,
Yeah.
Brian, Daryl,
Yeah.
Darren.
Yep.
Okay, all approved, all here. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda?
No, my brother. I make a motion to approve.
Second,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, did everybody get a chance to read the minutes from May 20th?
Okay, the only thing that's not on here is the construction line total. Was it, was it 75,000?
I'm so, yep.
Okay.
It's in my notes, but I forgot to put that part in.
I did do the maps. To put it in the newspaper is going to be a lot of money. I put it on the website though,
That should be fine, not?
because it would have been a full page ad to be able to read it, but I put it on the website on the lead board.
So we can just tell people to go to the Oliver County,
Yeah.
I would,
OliverCounty.org.
okay, thank you for doing that.
And
I mean, unless somebody thinks,
you can look at the map, it's on the website if you want something changed.
well, I've got a,
The one
It
that,
looked
the one
good.
that I edited and put the new
It-
names and
it'll
phone
be
numbers,
fine.
districts, on it too.
any other corrections or additions to the minutes?
I guess maybe I got one question, the last item there. Not sale of cost share chemical to commercial and industrial entities is. And motion is carried. Has there ever been that?
We've let the wind farms the last year come and get chemical through the cost share program, yes.
But not this year.
This year was they did come and ask for it for this year, yes.
That was the only year, was this year.
So they can come in and get chemical anymore.
According to this motion, they can't.
They can't get cost shared chemical. They can get chemical. They can't get taxpayer.
What's the purpose of that?
cost share? Because taxpayer money doesn't really need to be funding out-of-state corporations that
Well,
are
if it's
here to
going
bring
to
money.
control of noxious weeds, why wouldn't it be?
It just doesn't seem right to me.
I disagree, but that's just me.
The precedent for that is set on county sides. Mercer County doesn't sell to either.
Well, that's fine, Mercer can do whatever they want.
Can I ask why you'd want the taxpayer to pick up their tab with their account?
It's for control of noxious weeds. I don't have a problem with anybody controlling noxious weeds. I mean, it's something that needs to be done, and I don't have a problem with anybody that wants to do it, I guess. I mean, they're paying to lease on this land, and if they need to come and control the weeds, they probably should.
Well, if I go back to
You know what? I guess I'm in the minority here. I'm not gonna argue about it. I just feel differently, and it's, if other people feel differently and that's the way the motion went, that's fine.
Well, if I go back to the PSC meeting that Rick had made the comment that it's the landowner's responsibility, not the leasing.
It is the landowner's responsibility, I feel, but if the,
Rick was
If-
quoting the
if-
century
if-
code.
I guess in the other respect, I rent farmland. I rent land and I take care of the noxious weeds, and I do it on my own. And I think that would probably be in the same thing. I'm not a company or a commercial entity, but I do it on my own. If they don't do it, I do it on my own. And if the leasee wants to control the weeds and do that job, I feel he should be given the same opportunity as a landowner.
Another one that does take advantage of it year after year is Nature Conservancy. You'd have maybe the same argument with that. They've always taken advantage of the cost share program.
Are you talking like Cross Ranch?
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of true. It gives them more incentive to go out there and spray. Whatever.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I move.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, how about the treasurer's report, Lynn, you wanna?
in front of you, and I have year end 2024, just for reference. You can see that weed control had 118,187.02 at the end of 2024. And then the expenditures, you can see what we spent on chemical. Last year, we spent 63,610.05 on chemical. And we took in the end of the year, we had taken in 15,920 from people buying cost share. And then we got the reimbursement up in the, on the revenue sheet, when it says revenues, line 3340 is state grants and reimbursements. We got back $33,370.40, and that would have included, the cost share program itself, where we get back that percentage, that would have had the tag grant money would have been in that line. And the reimbursement for Scott and Miranda, plus their chemical, would have been in that line. And then the other sheet is 2025 to date. Right now, we have 89,149.94 in the fund. We had more last meeting, but I paid a $74,000 chemical bill out of there, which obviously ate into the balance quite a bit. We sold $15,532.50 worth of chemical. I believe I have one more receipt in my drawer that I have not had time to put in, and it was, it was under $100. I just haven't had time. And then, our chemical, like I said, 74,000. We did get some money back from the state. And I believe that was, I would have to look. I can't say with 100% accuracy what that was for. I don't think we got any grant money back. We did get, I don't know. I would have to look. I don't know what that is.
It'll be about another, was it $8,400? We did a second cost share purchase, and we've got all that distributed now, and so that bill is, needs to be paid yet. That'll be on top of the $74,000. It'll be about $82,000.
We did get back $1,495.81 on that primary residence credit. Where you got tax money back, and they put it against your property tax statement up to $500. And this was the Weed Control Board's share of the money the state actually reimbursed us for that credit. That was where it says primary residence credit.
So we got the, what, $1,495?
Yeah, we got that back from the state where everybody that applied for that primary residence credit got up to $500 back on their taxes last year. And then the state reimburses us that money to us. And when it's apportioned out, that was the Weed Control Board's share of the money that we did get back.
Is that by per agency that's in the courthouse or?
By every fund that levies, like general, county road, all of them got a percentage. It's the same way we figure out when somebody pays their taxes. Laura's got it set up in the computer where, depending on what their mill levy is, and it just multiplies, it does the math for you. Like you pay $10 in tax, the lion's share always goes to the school.
Yeah.
And then that money just gets sent out at the end of the month. But this money got to stay here because we don't write up balance of funds check out for this one. But if there's any other questions, these forms aren't too hard to figure out. If you have particular questions, it has them listed by what we've took in property taxes. The one is for the whole year, and 25 on is to printed each Friday. So we've taken they're almost $39,000, or no, $33,000 in taxes. The first column is the estimated column. That's what we're estimating we might bring in. And then the year-to-date and the month columns are what we actually did receive. So the first column it's a guess. And you try to guess low, so you don't want to guess high on revenue. Because then it looks pretty bad in the percentage column on the end. But so far we've gotten a little over $33,000 just in property tax money in. And that was based on the 1.5 million. So.
Does anybody have any other questions for Linda? Have a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll so move.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have to, the agenda, we don't have to go in that order, do we? I don't think, with the resignation, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. I think we should talk to Kenny about working with talk about rescinding the motion and work with the county shop.
Before you get any of those packets, I printed out the monthly newsletter and we did a collection. These are emails I got yesterday.
Okay.
Just so you could read them. I don't know if you're getting those emails or not, but I printed them out for everybody.
All right, thank you. Scott, what have you got, or just be here?
Yep.
Okay.
I talked to Scott last week about spraying,
Okay,
and he is actually interested
and
in spraying road ditches.
for the county roads,
Yep.
you would have time and stuff for that?
Depends on what they all want done. We'd have to go from there.
He's here for information, as far as what, you guys are looking for and what we're looking for and see where we're at.
Okay,
So,
great.
Yeah.
So, you'd still run your pickup and Scott, or?
no, he would, do it, try and get us up to, he's got the capability to go out and, hit the bad spots and get us back in track, until we can find a decent person to.
Have you got any applications,
We
Ken?
got two And the two we got, no background. It's, as far as spray applications or nothing like that. Not that it can't be learned, but, to set somebody out by themselves to learn it, I don't necessarily, there's more to it than that.
And so with the county, you do the 4-foot shoulder, right?
Well, at the end there, Mark Earhart was doing to the fence line
Right.
where
Where there was spurge.
and trees. Yep.
Okay.
So we'd like to continue that,
Right. I
but
think you should.
spurge this year's
Yeah.
It showed up where.
it's gonna be the new state flower here shortly, so.
Yeah, I see it along the state roads and everything.
Yeah. But like I said, I talked to Scott last week, and he is willing to help, and get us back going, get the bad spots, and the bigger spots. He can't drive every road in the county and help us, but maybe by that time we got somebody that we can look at and hire and.
So you're still thinking though of getting someone?
Right. Eventually, because like we talked about, he can't run every road line.
I don't see how you could run every road with.
Right. Even a full-time guy, the limited days we're gonna get.
Well, yeah, you got wind.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't work weekends.
Right.
So that.
So to help get us a start on it, we, while we're still accepting applications and see what you guys wanna do.
Yeah, right now we're way behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still, it's 10, 12 days behind it already. On the drive in, it's noticeable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to the fence line is a big plus.
It's
The equipment to do that would
That's
be
a big
beneficial.
job.
And we are, we have, our sprayer in the back of the pickup, with their, I think it's a 6-foot boom. And then we have a, broadcast nozzle too, that from a lot of places, but we do have it set up as a hand sprayer too, with 150 foot. So, I mean.
I was gonna ask Scott, if you do this, are you gonna record where the spurge is at?
Ken,
If that would be an option you could use?
like what I talked to Kenny about, I mean, at least get going and get caught up is give me the section he wants done, right? And then get that done, go to the next section, like that. Are you talking using a GPS?
Well, I mean, some apparatus record GPS or whatever you might use, if the county does hire somebody and you phase out of it, that information would be able to be carried forward to the county employee, whoever would do it.
We always keep documents, right, where we're at, mile markers, stuff like that.
That's when you do the state.
Yes. I don't have any GPS. A lot of, what did we use one time, Rick? Logadata or something it was
Data
called?
loggers, yeah. The Red's Fix-It Shop used to have one of those computer and a data logger.
We still use, at the county, we still have the paper, that we write down address, we still have that. So, I mean, if it's something we could forward to him.
I think you're mandatory to record every hour,
Right.
where you're at, your wind speed, your mile marker, or wherever you're at, and what you're using. And that's what we do with the state. It's every hour.
Same price as the highway ditch?
Mm-hmm.
But you'd have,
Yeah, right. I was
some section lines though.
Exactly.
Well, your information's gonna look a lot different.
Correct.
But if you're giving him if we're giving him or Kenny's giving him the hot spots, then that narrows it down to miles, right? Like if it's say the Hanover Road to the South Hazen Road, that gives you a pretty good accurate idea. And in a couple of weeks, you'll see that spurge yelling.
Right.
At least for now. I mean, yeah, GPS is nice, but it takes time to set up and money too.
That's the thing. I mean, if you're
They
looking
come
at,
free of charge. You could get them from, Department of Ag actually issues those to counties.
But like for us to put it in and then you get a full-time guy, you're putting it in, take it out, putting it in, take it out, that's time consuming.
Do they have like a handheld unit type deal? Is it just for the
You wire it in.
Yeah, you're gonna use a
They
flow
give you
meter,
the-
so it's gonna see when you spray it, it's gonna record where you're at.
I was under the assumption it was something that was handheld and you could just.
Well, I just thought for mapping purposes,
Right.
you know. Granted, a Garmin handheld unit with a map, they're not that expensive anymore. Or if a guy could drop a pin on,
Where you're at.
where you're at,
Your
and
time and
then,
your date. Your
Yeah.
location,
Lot-
it can
lot-
give you your flow where you're.
because a lot of times, they got SD card in them now where you just pull it out, you can upload it and then put in your data and
Jim Hansen with the Department of Ag is the one that's in charge of all the information with the data collection on spraying.
Okay.
And he would set you up if you wanted to do that.
Okay, and you said if you find somebody yet, you're still gonna run the county one too,
right, if we find somebody that,
that you can trust.
yeah, and take that spot, I don't see, because, he's not gonna get to everything, but if he can get to the bigger stuff,
Okay.
it's like he said, we're behind already, and everybody sees it coming up, it's
Well, we gotta start somewhere.
between that and all the trees, that we have taken down, the trees are 4 feet tall already. So, costs a lot of money to go back and remulch them.
Just one thing to keep in mind with that, I don't know if you're ever gonna get questioned with it though, but noxious weed control is for weeds that are on the noxious weed list. Trees would not be part of that.
Right, but as far as us spraying, the county part.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we're using weed board dollars to pay for tree removal, is that noxious weed control?
Depends if it's Russian olive.
Or Chinese elm,
The
yeah.
only ones I ran through payroll were the ones that specifically said weed spraying,
Yeah.
not,
We-
not mulching.
Not tree.
Not tree,
tree.
no. Those
And
are
we
both-
we have a tree
You have a tree line and then
and
there was a spraying
a
one.
weed spray, so.
I set up a specific one for spraying so they didn't get mixed up.
Okay. So we need to rescind the motion. Just pay for spraying weeds. The weed board will
So
help.
you want to go back to what we were doing, to spray just the
Well,
ones we did in 2018, just the weed spraying hours.
I guess, yeah.
That's what we were doing, just the weed.
How did the motion read?
Just pulling it up.
The big book, sorry.
2018.
The original motion or the rescind
The
one?
original.
The original.
Okay, sorry.
We didn't have that many meetings.
So,
It's in the August one.
there it is. Greg Meyer moved and Byron Felt seconded the motion to approve the transfer of funds from the weed board fund to the general fund at the end of the year for the spraying cost of the county road workers when spraying road ditches for the county. All in favor, none opposed, motion carried.
We were still doing that just once a year, and that got to be a lot of excess paperwork. And I had to go back and look at every payroll. So we changed it to every payroll it gets done, so I don't have to go back, 5 months or 6 months or whatever, and look at them. It was cleaner that way, and you could see the ongoing costs instead of guessing what they would have been by the end of the year. It was an easier way to do a running total. And that way, just the specific hours that they had put down got transferred, nothing else. No if they did 8 hours one day and 12 the next, they got 20 hours were allocated to that cost line, not the other, the rest of their 40-hour week. That went to county road department.
Okay.
That's the same situation that you'd be looking at, is it would just get coded differently in your books.
Yep, and that's the way our time sheets are set up.
I changed the time sheets to have a specific coding line on there.
Yep.
On their sheets, so.
And they have to fill out plus their logs, spray log while they're out spraying too, besides. So.
Right, yeah. So that's how it was. The motion we have to
other than
rescind
it
was from
said
the 15th.
transferred at the end of the year, and then we switched it and just were doing every paycheck that it applied to.
Right.
Because it was cleaner. So they would just have to make a motion to rescind the one we did last meeting. And, yeah, and, a May meeting and agree to do it again. Reinstate just the hours that they were spraying. The weed control stuff, not the tree. If they were out spraying for trees, it would have said trees.
Trees, yeah.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move that we rescind the motion to not pay county workers and go back to the original motion. And instead of the lump sum to report
Yeah,
it
to
monthly.
keep a monthly so that you have a better idea what's going on.
Right, okay, and that's reported monthly to make it a little bit easier for the secretary or treasurer.
Well, and for you guys, I mean, if you
Well,
ask-
right, that's right,
you
but I
know,
mean,
you
if it's,
wouldn't
it
know
makes it
anything.
easier for you, why not?
It's a lot easier, it's not
Recorded
clean.
and paid monthly.
Well, we get paid every 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay, that's how that was, okay.
All right, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, and as far as Scott spraying this, did we budget enough for extra? I mean, if we go over, are we allowed to get some?
We just have to fix it at the end of the year, then we transfer in the cover so you're not below zero.
Okay, but
That's
we're not.
Right, no, it's accepted bookkeeping practice. If you
Okay.
go over the budget, then we have to fix it on the December 31st.
Okay,
We have to put
So-
money in there so that you're not below water.
do we need a motion that Scott can help?
It's always been in your bid.
It's in the same bid with okay?
We're just gonna have to cover that. We're gonna have to transfer money
Yeah,
because
'cause
the
we-
9,000 is,
Not
For
going
the-
to,
I mean, we do get that back, don't we?
not for the county roads we want.
No, for the state.
The
This-
state
This
will.
was their
We
state
get
line.
refunded. You said at the last meeting, Rick, that comes out to about $10,000 of refunded
Whatever,
money.
whatever the bill is what
Yeah,
we get
plus
reimbursed.
chemical, yeah.
How often do you bill Scott?
Trouble is,
Once
when
a
you
year?
get money back in,
Once
it
a year?
goes into a
Even if you do
two-number
county
fund
roads, how
and
you
it
bill
doesn't
once a
actually
year?
show
That's up to
on
you
the
guys.
expenditure.
The weed board for the state department, we bill at the end of the year.
Right,
It's just one time, all the documents, all the paperwork for the whole year. So we write everything down in a notebook. At the end of the year, when we're done, we transfer it all to a weed sheet. So we have a copy, it's got the weed sheet in there, those get turned in with the bill at the end of the year.
And that works for you?
That works for me. Yep. Now, I don't know if the county stuff you want separate for paperworks or
You'd have to.
I
We
mean,
have to have separate
Yeah.
for the
Well, I mean,
county.
billing wise, or you want at the end of the year staple just like we do at the state, here it is, here's the bill and boom, it's
No,
done.
we'd have to have it separate because the
No,
state
correct.
will have a fit.
So he's saying similar to the state, how they send it to them,
Oh,
but the
yeah.
county.
I don't care if we do it.
Just not one
Every
lump
2 weeks,
bill.
I don't know if it's worth it, because you could have
How about
maybe 2
monthly?
weeks or a monthly.
I would say monthly so that we can kind of keep track of it. The state, we kind of know what that's gonna run every year,
Mhm.
but this is a new deal and it would be nice to have a monthly
Sure.
total, you know, so we can kind of keep track. It's not gonna amount to a lot, but, you know, depends on what you do, but it would be nice to see that.
Okay.
That was
And
that.
I mean, we could turn the paperwork in on a monthly basis and then just bill at the end of the year. We can, I don't care either way.
Well, you know, our lag with paying bills, we have to wait till the next commission meeting. you know.
It don't matter. We
And
do
this
that
is
with the
at,
state too.
is
It's
this at
just
78?
78.
78.
Whatever you guys prefer on it, it makes zero difference to me.
I think maybe monthly, I mean, if it's not too much extra work for you,
All it is
At least
copy
we
to
can-
the sheets, tape the bill on it.
okay.
You know, if it does run into quite a bit, if we pay monthly, that would cover your operating, so you wouldn't have to cover out of your pocket. I mean, unless that's not a big deal, but.
Are you hiring an extra person for this, or?
Depends on where it goes. If it's here's 20 miles out here, probably not. I
The
mean,
one thing that's not included in that is when Scott does the state highway right away, we provide chemical. What's your agreement with
Well,
providing product versus?
no, I was gonna ask about that. Since we technically bought the chemical already for our road ditches, are we able to,
Well, you've already been given that chemical. You can
Right.
use whatever you've
Yeah.
been given. Yeah,
but can we use that for,
that's up to you. Whatever you guys want to do.
I mean, we got it, that's what we
That's
got
what
it
we
for.
do
with it.
Right,
Use it, yeah.
so,
Use
Well,
it.
use it so you don't have to store it,
right,
you know,
and that's what it's there for, and
you know.
I showed him last week, you
If
know,
we
what
run
had.
out, we run out, you know. I don't know if we can get more
So
chemical.
I'm good with it.
Whatever, but
Well, that's what it was bought for,
Right.
and he's doing it instead of you guys, so
Right.
you might as well use it.
Yeah,
Right.
why not?
Like,
Easy thing to store
when's
that
it,
stuff
when
over the
start
winter
date?
anyway.
Right,
whenever I got one day left in the highway ditches for spurge, and that's done. We
Oh.
usually push thistle out a little bit. You got to see it. So I mean, I got a couple weeks before we go to thistle.
so you start at midnight tonight.
No. Hopefully, I'm done with ditches tomorrow.
Okay.
The highway. So
But I mean, you're gonna start as soon as you can.
yeah, he gives me a strip and we'll get going.
Good.
What I want him to do is just give me sections, right? So Hanover to Byron's Road, something like that.
There
I
you go.
mean, get that done. I need more, right? It's caught up, it's done. Let's go to the next strip. Let's give me the spots he wants first, is what I would like.
Great. Sounds
Go
like a
to the
good
next
plan.
one.
you're just gonna spray on the spots that actually have the weeds. You're not gonna like just blanket.
No, when the,
No, you just spray the spurge, yeah. You'll waste the chemical. So, and if you want, I could do it either way. You give me the strip, I could spray about 16 to 20 feet, depends on what you want. 20, 25 feet. I drive that edge of the road, go from the edge of the road about 20 to 25 feet out, or we could cover all the way to the fence.
Like, you get out on the Hanover Road to the fence, that is wide.
some of them, yeah.
They rebuilt that, that's quite a bit wider.
Well, they keep making the road wider.
Well, the road isn't even,
Right away, it's getting
the
smaller.
wider the road gets, the shorter the ditch gets. But, okay, we need, anything else? Talk, ask?
I don't know.
We don't necessarily need a motion here to approve Scott, is that because the county is doing that? And we are just reimbursing the county, so I'm just thinking money flow wise.
Well, I think the weed board will pay Scott directly, right? Because we're not gonna have him on the
Yeah,
time
the
sheet.
money's not going through.
It's not
No,
gonna go
that's not coming
through
through
pay.
you.
That's true, so we're paying, but then,
You're paying.
It won't go through payroll, it'll just be like when you spray and send me a bill.
Yep.
so we maybe need to approve that
Yeah.
with a motion, that we're gonna,
Right, if Scott's
I
gone,
mean, yeah,
yeah.
because he's got approval to
Do the
spray
highway.
a state highway, but nothing to do the.
Right.
Yeah,
I
we
think
probably
too.
need to,
And just in his
Cover
bid,
everything.
he's actually put in other counties
We are-
too.
Correct. Any additional spraying for the weed board is in the bid.
Okay,
That's
okay, so
what
then,
it is.
then we're probably covered then,
alright.
I would say.
Anything else, Kenny?
No, we'll just keep looking, you know, Alice is, like I said, she's got the two, applicants, there's no experience there. Once she's ready, you know, I think she's gonna leave it open a little longer and see what we get, and I mean, we can always set up interviews and go from there, and
Okay. Dave, any input?
Oh, it'd be interesting to get it done. Like you say, that Hanover Road, both sides, it's just about anywhere.
yeah.
I think Rick's seen it, it's gotten worse every year, right? It just seems like it.
Well, yeah, it don't
It's
get
better
better.
in some spots, but some spots it's not.
Yeah.
You know, because some people cut the hay in the ditch, you know, okay, it's, you know, it's gone. Till next year.
I think our biggest thing, Brian, is trying to decide if we can work them in to be a full-time, you know, so when they can't spray, they can work at the shop. We're working on that. That's gonna be a,
Not me.
well, he might quit his job at Maine Court.
Okay, guys, anybody else?
I just want the input, what you guys want, I guess, to pass or all the way to the ditch, or all the way to the fence.
Well,
I will not spray on the other side of the fences.
Right.
I'm not gonna cross the fence line.
No,
I would
issue.
say maybe just at your discretion, any place that's got
Yeah.
spurge up to the fence line.
if it's really bad up to the
I mean, it
fence
doesn't do
line,
any good to spray 4 feet and leave 12 feet of spurge in there.
I'm just asking.
Agreed. Do the spots that are easy for the trucks to drive first, right? Like you'll cover the most ground
You
there.
get more ground.
You know what I mean? There's some mucker road ditches out by us that your pickup's probably not going in the ditch.
I'm gonna let him determine where he wants.
Well, and then same with, you know, you guys, if you see anything, shoot it over and we'll get it to him, and
Play the wind. Yeah. It'll cover. It's good if it's on the other side of the fence.
one more time, anybody else, anything? Thank you, guys.
ready to go.
Okay, let me know.
Yep.
Go from there. Sounds good, thanks
That
guys.
will be a motion to do it spot on, huh?
No, he's on different one. I have a question for you. Do you have access to your tractors year round down there, like what you do at one of the edges of ditches?
We do now.
Okay. On the way in, I seen a producer out there with his Summers. And he had one boom hanging 40-some feet over the ditch. I looked impressed. I mean, he was getting it, you know, and then plus shooting the end nozzle. And, I mean, we talk, you know, you, shoot boomless, you gotta play the wind to get to the fence. Those damn things aren't that expensive, you know, if a guy can throw one in behind. You're sitting at 1,000, 1,200 gallons of water, you can drive a lot of damn ditch, you know, and they got access to a tractor.
The problem is we're limited on hours.
As far as on the tractor
Yes.
itself, I
Yeah.
see, I gotcha. You hour them up enough to where that wouldn't be feasible?
Well, like John Deere's, we're only, this year, we're hoping to change it for next year, but we're only allowed 200 hours
Oh, wow,
on that tractor, so
burn that up in a hurry.
just mowing, we're cutting
Yeah.
close on that.
Well, you still got the cut?
The Massey, we got Massey now.
Oh, you got rid of the cut.
Yeah, because the lease was up on that,
Oh.
and
What's the lease on that one?
that one was done before my time, so we're still looking into it. But there's only 2 years left on there, so we're gonna be getting close on hours on that also. But once, Rob's kind of handling that, so we,
What is that, a 4-year release then?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
You get $200
5,000
in
hours
5 years.
No, the John Deere's we lease yearly,
I see.
and we get 200 hours on that. So we're trying to change that because what we're paying for what we're getting is not right. So, the Massey's more, but being towards the end of our lease, it's gonna be, hopefully coming next year, we're gonna get more hours. So that way, maybe that would be an option.
I bought a tractor a couple of years ago that was used by a water district up by Langdon to spray, their road ditches. It was a Cat Challenger track tractor with a 300 gallon tank, and then he had about a 40-foot boom on it that was hydraulically controlled up and down and swung out, and then had 3 boom busters on the end,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed to work well for those guys. But
Yeah.
they ran the same problem. They didn't have any hydraulics.
Okay. But then,
But I've got it laying in the yard.
oh, with that, yeah.
Got that sprayer in your yard?
I've got the boom and the tank and same with the rating control. I've got that in the yard.
And you said you have spare dimes?
No, I don't. But that boom, you're not gonna mount on a regular tractor. So it's about 40 feet long and it's a inch and a half to 2 inch steel tube.
Well, the tractors,
40 feet.
the tractors we have are 150, 200 horse, but
You're gonna have to conrate them for that boom,
yeah.
big time.
Gene, how far can Brad shoot out with his? Does anybody know?
How's that?
Brad up in Mercer County, how far can he shoot out on his?
You know, he's got a boomless, no, he does have boom on that, I just seen that Saturday.
I think he's
You know,
got
pick
like
up.
40 booms, 40-foot booms on that
Doesn't
thing?
matter. Well,
Maybe
he
not.
probably was splitting 40,
Yeah,
like
20,
splitting 48.
Yeah.
Something like that. You know, and then he's running 2 quads with jackrabbits, you know. Does a majority of that. No, this intrigued me today when I seen that, and I don't know if you can, you know, say control nozzles on that boom. You know, say that you only need 6 of them. You know, there's options in that type. Most of those summer sprayers are advertised, you know, versus
feet.
investing in a pickup and all that stuff there. You know, that would be one less motor to have. You know, as far I was impressed with what the guy was doing. It was like, shit, he's touching the fence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's way over there.
You know, you know, I'm sure it's gone, but state surplus had from the state weed board, they had a 3-point sprayer. I think there's 30-foot booms on that. $250.
Then, you know, there you're gonna need somebody to follow with water.
Right.
Versus you come here with 1,200 gallons or what, so.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you go a long ways in that sense. I just hoping your tractors would be, you know, sitting idle right now and looking for a place to be used, you know, that type of thing. Boomless, to try to shoot 40 feet, you got quite a way, and the wind's gotta be in your favor.
You're not going when at 40 feet, there's drift.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you gotta get elevation out of it and stuff.
25 is you can usually do.
Right, yeah, if you shoot straight line.
Yeah.
But the volume of water means a lot. If you don't chase for water, you can get a lot done.
Right.
You know, if you're driving back and forth with 300 gallons, I don't know how far you're gonna get, depending on the time you turn it on.
What kind of sprayer are you using on the ditches?
I don't even remember what, I don't know, maybe you remember what they got.
It's all sprays on PD3 and Liquid.
Yeah, I think now that you say that.
And that should take care of just about everything,
It
not?
does, yeah. It's designed for spurge, but it'll take out one boom thistle too. They just got the one product.
Will it take out trees then too, Rick, or is that what you use for trees then, or what do you use?
The Tordon will help with it. Dicamble's recommended.
Yeah. So, and I don't think they got any of that when they ordered it, so.
You kind of more want to handle on those too, the trees, you just kind of wash the dang thing.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different
Mm-hmm.
time frame and ways of getting it done.
Could the sheriff's department pull a trailer? When you're out checking roads? I don't know.
Hand sprayer.
Hand sprayer, there you go.
We should get going here, guys. We got a lot with the resignation. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. Rick handed me his resignation letter. Brittany also handed me a resignation letter. So we are currently going to be without a weed board officer or a secretary. Thank you for all your years of service. 32 is pretty impressive. Brittany, thanks for your time. Anybody got any comments or anything?
I'd like to thank Rick for his time and everything that he put in, and I know he's pretty well Brian and I have gone to a couple of district meetings, and I don't know if we've gone to state meeting, but he's pretty well respected in the weed board area. I guess I feel it's too bad the way this was all handled. I think there were no complaints brought before the weed board about Rick doing his job or anything like that. And I just feel it was all a lot of personal access to grind and personal vendettas, and I don't feel that's correct the way it was done, going behind our backs to the state's attorney and county commission, and going to the state's attorney's office behind our backs. Now, the weed board being aware of it, I don't feel that was correct at all. It's become like a little bit of a paper place that people with their access to grind go back and do things like this. I think the people that have done this or feel that they need to do this need to take a good look at themselves and what they accomplished for the community and the weed board, because in the last year and a half, we haven't been able to accomplish much. And I feel really bad about it, that I've been on this board for a long time. I was on this board since Doug Price was president, and that's a long time. And we've never had to deal anything with that, and I feel bad about it. And I guess I'd like to thank Rick for his service, and I think he's done a good job. And I hope that you continue on your extension job and do a good job there. So thanks for your efforts.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Did you want me to read the letter?
You can.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Oliver County Weed Board. I'm writing my letter of resignation as the Oliver County Weed Officer as of today, June 16th, 2025. I want to thank the Weed Board for allowing me to serve as your weed control officer for the past 32 years. I've always felt we had a great relationship and moved the weed control program forward in a positive direction. Being a weed control officer has allowed me to build a strong relationship with the landowners and has made me a better extension agent. The past year and a half has been very interesting, and I feel it's time for me to step aside. The Weed Board has always tried to do what was best for the weed control program with the resources that we have, and I want to thank you. However, the drama of the past several months indicates the program is going in a different direction. When people start attacking my extension for the agent position, it is best that I no longer continue in this role. Thank you again for 30 plus great years. Sincerely, Rick Schmidt. Brittany, yours is pretty short. Dear Oliver County Weed Board, this letter is to inform you that I, Brittany Price, am resigning as Secretary of the Oliver County Weed Board, effective immediately after this meeting. I wish the board only the best for the future. Sincerely, Brittany Price. Thank you guys for your service. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
So, we're without a weed officer, a secretary. Technically, we don't have an office anymore. How much chemicals left up at the...
Not much. In fact, I've got it loaded. I'll drop it off at the county shop, and we're
Okay,
cleaning
great.
the pallets and the containers and all that stuff.
Okay, and the second order you had is all dispersed
It's all
already?
gone.
All gone? Good job.
The lap vouchers were also, I already submitted the lap vouchers for this season, so they are ready to the state office.
We had the last person pick up this morning, and we've got that all included in the LAP program. That's due June 30th, and basically I'm going to say that we probably are done with the CASHA program, so that's for this up
year.
till the June 30th time frame, and then it goes into the next biennium anyways. So I would say that we're pretty much done with that. I don't know that there's timing to find a new employee, to get another order put in, advertisement, whatever it is. And so kind of my, something that you guys can figure out is that where do we direct calls from this point until you do find a new employee. I guess that's up to the board what you want to do with it.
One question about the stuff that we own.
It's all the county
It's
shop.
all the county shop, looking for, I suppose we can put that on a bid, so
It's up to you
we
guys.
don't need it. We don't use it.
Well, I mean,
Depends on
that's
what you get
that's up to the board.
Depends on what you get for an employee. If
Yeah,
it's somebody that's willing to
It's
use
all
it,
bought
that's
and
fine.
paid for now,
Right,
we might as
yeah.
well not rush into anything as far as selling and stuff.
okay, we have to advertise this position, right?
As far as I know, yes, everybody else. I think the board is the one that decides, though, not her.
She does the
She does the
advertising.
advertising.
Well, I know that, but I mean,
The board is the one that decides who they want to hire, not her.
Right.
Not the
no, I
commissioners,
get
the
that,
board,
but
She would
have to
advertise.
advertise. Post it, right?
She does the advertising, she's got the passwords to this job service and, she takes care of that. She doesn't even enter them, she just pass it on to us. She just does the legwork basically.
okay. What if I don't want to? We need a motion to accept the resignations.
It's hard to do. Your mind's made up, so.
I think that it's in the best interest of my profession.
I'll make a motion to accept Rick's resignation with great reservations.
Second,
And Brittany, put Brittany.
well, I was gonna ask for
Might as well
her,
put Brittany on the same thing and.
I'm not gonna accept her, but I'm just kidding.
Well, I guess, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Doesn't do any good. It's put anyway.
Brittany, we need a motion to accept Brittany's resignation.
I make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Opposed? Okay. So, to advertise for this, would you make up a list of your duties? started writing down what, we all need, and I was like, wow.
I think the one thing that, basically, like I said, the CASHA program is pretty much done for the year.
But I mean, this person that we hire has
Right.
to be able to do all this.
So what's remaining for the year? If we get people that turn somebody in for not spraying weeds, whatever it is, basically the weed control officer was the sounding board and to go out and do an inspection, determine whether things are in compliance or not. Right now, we don't have that person. And so I don't know the answer to where that goes until we find somebody to get hired. Realistically, a lot of the other stuff is paperwork. There's obligations that weed control officer attend the Ag Commissioners Forum. It is part of it to be a part of the Weed Control Association as well. Need to go to the annual meetings and to kind of keep up with chemicals that are working, that type of thing. The biological control program is a part of it. Basically, the way that we're going now is that somebody's got to be Scott's supervisor. He's going to have somebody to go to. If he's spraying under the weed board contract,
Somebody.
yeah, and if he's doing noxious weed control, I'm going to say he's probably this board's employee
Right.
because we're paying him.
Yep.
If he's going and spraying trees, then that's Kenny's.
Yep.
He's the supervisor there. Somebody's going to be in charge of his, giving him, recommendations, what's going well, what's not going well, that type of thing. And realistically, I'll be honest with you, there's probably 40 weed boards out there, and every county runs it different. There's the other 12 that don't even have an active weed control program. They don't do anything.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. There's at least a dozen of them that have never been to the State Weed Control Association meeting. County commissioners have an obligation to appoint a weed control board. And in many of those counties, it's in name only. There's no activity whatsoever, and they've never been to that. And it's a requirement that the weed control officer attend the Ag Commissioners Forum. That's actually in Century Code. It says you will be there. They've never been there. They don't function. So how you move forward and what it looks like is really up to what the board wants to do. But be as active as you want to be, or you could be as inactive as you want to be.
I kicked around, I read the Century Code again. You can have, a weed officer can be like a weed officer for several counties. And
Yeah, you can. Logan and Emmons are doing that. Basically what they've done is they've subcontracted with CJ Pierce in Emmons County, Logan County has. And basically he's just taking care of the Logan County weeds. They write him a check for going in and spraying county road ditches or whatever the direction Logan County wants to give them. And they do not have a weed control officer.
No, Logan and Emmons County, they operate almost autonomously as their own department then.
Now they do. Logan County really doesn't. They've
No,
got
I mean,
more-
Emmons County operates as its own entity, basically. He has his own
Yes.
secretary.
Yes.
He answers.
But they're big. They're big too, and they're going out and spraying county. Where they're making their money is by going and spraying for landowners,
Right.
and they're a big enough entity to do that, and so they can hire employees. And if you look at what they're spending or charging for an hourly rate, you can actually employ people at a pretty reasonable price. You can basically have your road ditch sprayed for next to nothing. I mean, really, you can.
I mean, Brian and I talked to the guy that ran that. And
CJ?
Yeah, and
It's nice.
they're almost autonomous. They operate they have their own bank account, their own funds, they handle all their own funds and everything.
They don't run through the county at all.
They don't.
But would we be out of line? Everybody likes Brad Seifert. Could we ask him
I think we could.
if he'd be interested in being our weed officer?
Whether he would do it or not,
Well, that's-
would be
I mean-
one thing, but that would be something we'd have to decide going forward,
Or
The other part of it is, that example, we use Mercer County because they're close and they do a good job, thanks to him, but that is the example, is that we have a weed control officer that also does the spraying. That's kind of a spot that could be, I'm not saying it has to be, but could be advertised for, is that they would have weed control or officer duties, but then also have the responsibility of spraying weed ditches like that. So the job description for this is pretty clear here in its basic form, The rest of it is just a matter of cost share, chemical, and paperwork,
You might not have time though to do,
That's what I'm
That's-
doing. You're already at 2 people there,
right?
but I mean, worst you can say is no.
right?
I mean, it
should not
wouldn't
shoot it down.
hurt to talk to him and pick his brain and see what he could come up with. But I mean, if we do go in that direction, I mean, is it gonna be a part-time guy or?
Well,
it's all to be
he
decided.
would be our weed control officer. He would probably run the cost share program, take the, their complaints and stuff. We would still have the county.
One thing that you have to think about, Mercer County though does not have a building. Mercer County does not have a cost share program like what we have.
Well,
They do, it
basically-
just runs through the
The
CHS, yeah. And so I picked up chemical there for landlords that have bought it, and it's the same cost share. It just gets dealt by them. They make a little bit of money on it, and the cost share buys it down. Now, whether that's going to continue or not, who knows? But at least at this point, it's essentially the same thing.
Okay, but if we don't go that route, who?
We're gonna put an app out with a job description,
Exactly.
and see what we got for takers. That's all we can, that Rick could help us with the job description.
I'd
We
If
appreciate
you
it,
would, it would be.
and, take that route. There's no reason not to ask, Brad. I mean, I know.
That's just an
Right,
idea.
correct,
It's
correct,
just
it's just, gotta run everything by us, you know, that's why we're here. But, we can definitely look into that, but if that fails, we can definitely have to get an animal
Well, I mean, I was under the impression we have to advertise for it.
We
I think so.
advertise, but the board is the one that makes the decision, not Alice.
No, I know,
We understand.
but we have to meet with Alice and,
Well,
The
yeah,
commissioners can have a final say.
no, they don't hire, no, the board does.
about secretary,
Secretary is kind of,
huh?
it's not a huge job, you take minutes and you send out, I'm not a big fan of group texts, I always sent out, I did this, when I was chair, I sent the letters out. We don't have any problems with paper letters going out. And the group texts are too easy to get a violation over in the emails, so I don't have a problem sending letters out. When we're gonna have a meeting. And
What's the difference between a text and a letter?
If you send out a paper letter, it's to one person individually. Like send a letter to you, send a letter to you, whatever. You send a group text out, it's addressing, it's like having a mini meeting all at once. If anybody replies, it's a meeting violation.
So it becomes a group meeting that it's unadvertised, which, like it or not, is state century code violation. And the whole county can get in trouble whether we like it or not.
So I think maybe if they're okay for meeting notifications, like a
So
reminder
if I would send a text out,
to the entire board,
no,
somebody
to
reply.
you and to you and to you all individually,
Individually,
then it wouldn't be an issue.
No.
Right.
And if you
That's-
send it as a group, it becomes a.
And you reply as saying, I'll be there, that's a violation.
No, not meeting notices, but if you have any kind of a discussion,
Or a
Or-
business decision.
a business decision, then we're in violation and then we get fined. They're
That was
pretty
what-
picky about that.
That's what the state's attorney was referring to at the last commissioners meeting. Planning and zoning has gotten in trouble with this a little bit too because of the emails that have been sent out. And so the biggest part about this is it can become a state level to a county thing.
when you said emails, did you mean texts or?
No, I mean,
Any
in
emails?
that case that
Emails
he
and
mentioned, that was an
texts.
email.
That was an email. The planning and zoning was an email. It's
Well-
okay to use text, group text for meeting notices, as long as everybody just says, yeah, I can be there, yeah, I can't. You can't discuss business. But I would like, I think in the best interest of the board, we should discontinue group texts other than meeting notifications. And go back to sending out a letter like I always used to do with meeting time and the agenda included by paper mail and a phone number, call if you can't make it and I can try and reschedule or whatever. That's what I did for years as chair. I sent them out and we didn't have meeting violations, fines and
I like group text. And they're cheaper.
well, they are cheaper,
Oh.
but fines are pretty spendy. It's
So it
just,
was that for a while, the mail was not on the regular service.
well, it's still.
That was just South Hazen, Gina. I got in on that too. Everybody else's work.
Mail once a week maybe.
Yeah, it's corrected itself.
Well, we still.
I do like to text and that type of stuff, and we know it's no
That's
longer.
It's okay for meeting notices, but.
It's really, I know
That's
Linda's
all.
bringing this to our attention, but like literally at the last commission meeting, the weed board is not the only one getting this reminded because this
Planning,
is
zoning, got it.
this is where technology is not jiving well with public notice state laws and what's this
the
county
problem
fine
with
if the state comes
digital-
down on us?
It's hefty.
It's
It would
hefty.
wipe out their budget.
hefty.
It would wipe out the.
So like you said, this is state government, not
They're-
the
They're
weed board.
not, they
Yeah,
don't like
county's
it.
got a lot of money.
Anytime it's in digital,
Spend $40
it's,
on
Sounds
fuel
like somebody's stepping on their vein to me.
We're getting out of line, guys. Go ahead, Linda.
I just totally forgot what I was gonna say.
So we have to have a secretary, and in the meantime, complaints would generally go to the president of the board. So if there's phone calls on that, that's how boards normally work.
Good luck on that.
I'm not saying you have to do anything with it, but that's where the phone calls would get forwarded to.
So we need a weed officer fast.
So-
That's gonna happen.
I
It'd
know.
probably be easier to find a weed officer than a weed officer and a sprayer. That sprays
Well,
also.
we've got our spraying.
Right, so if you're looking
But I
at
guess, yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay, but if we go with somebody that's going to do the spraying too, you're talking a big increase in salary here
yeah,
too.
that's gonna have to be, that the budget would have to be amended
Yeah,
to
once that guy.
the change in
Mr.
circumstances.
He
So
never
we-
told me his number, so.
If we do write up this job description for Alice, is that we have to have an idea what we're
Yeah,
offering
what
too,
you-
but
Do you want to be the?
Well, at this point, though, for you, that's just a matter of saying your job duties and what that included.
But-
Right,
But we'd have to decide: do we want them to spray too or not?
right.
Well,
We have
that'd be
this
an option.
equipment, like Daryl said, unless we're
Well,
gonna be an
maybe,
option.
maybe we'd be
You know, if
lucky
we-
to find somebody with a commercial that would agree to do both.
They-
I don't know.
Having trouble finding somebody.
Yeah, I don't see that happening really. I don't. Yeah.
Plus, be able to write these grants and everything, and
And we're gonna need a salary in there or a wage or whatever, you know.
that's what I'm
to be
saying.
posted. You know, there's a lot to decide as to get interest.
Do you wanna talk to
Maybe a new
Alice?
pickup with.
Well, we'll have
I
to.
mean, that you wanted to explain what the board wants, what
We
our
don't
options
know
are.
what we want yet, technically.
Maybe some options, like,
Well, we
No.
kind of have it right here. I mean, Alice could post this, and then you could add to it.
I mean, I got mine
We have
somewhere.
it right there. County weed control officer duties. It's at least a base of what they need to do.
How do you come up with a salary?
I don't know. What's your temp? You guys talked about this at the last commissioner meeting, but your temp wage at the county is what?
30, right now,
30, okay.
30 even.
30 an hour.
30 even,
30.
yep, an hour.
See, there's nothing in here about applying for the LAP grant or running the cost share program or going to these regional meetings or working with the contractor, spraying state highway ditches.
Well,
And I do have weed officer duties according to the Century Code, taking complaints, sending letters, follow up, enforcement, et cetera.
Message.
this state highway contract that Scott does too, that's kind of one of those things that you're not gonna get reminders. If you send the bill in, you'll be able to get reimbursed. If you don't, you're not getting anything back. And there were a couple of years that there are no reminders. That person's gonna have to know when to submit and.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it than
There's
just
a learning
that.
curve in this job.
There is. It took me a few years to figure it out. But
the chemical quantities are gonna stay relatively the same from year to year, and also it's not hard to order more. Overall, it shows up pretty quickly.
you just gotta have a place to hold it and somebody that's willing to take the cost share letters and requests and distribute it.
And not the president.
I don't know.
No.
You have to be commercially licensed.
Yeah, they got a certification up there. It's gonna be a hard find.
Right now, we don't have a facility. And even to go into do what Mercer County is doing, their whole cost share program is so different than ours. They don't cost share the same chemicals. Basically, what they do is they go in and they get it. Brad basically gives them a window of how much they can get. They go into Cenex, pick it up, and then Cenex does a lot of the paperwork. But I'm going to say that the products that we cost share are, what are we at, 11 products or something like that? They only do a few of them, and some of them are different than ours. We have to totally rethink how we, what this looks like.
Just throw it in the paper, a couple ads. And right, they have the luxury of having CHS do a lot of footwork for them.
Right, but they're gonna go there, and if Oliver County is willing to drive up to Hazen to pick it up, I don't know,
Yeah.
some will.
I'd be
some
hard
won't.
pressed to get, I've talked with Wes up there, hard pressed this time of the year to throw that into the equation to try to make it work with the workforce they have.
Yeah, and my understanding is they were talking about not even having Mercer County in there anymore.
CHS, due to lack of workforce, is suggesting that they find a different source of distributing their chemical and perhaps looking into avenues to take to, to do it differently, I guess, so. It does, brings in a lot of extra foot traffic and whatnot to the facility, and then
But then Sunex has to have somebody that's certified to deal with it too,
correct.
And we don't have an agronomy center in Oliver County.
No. That's a downfall.
But either way, you give me direction where you want me to, I'll help you guys. But within parameters.
Thank you. Any ideas, anybody? We just put it in the paper and hope for what we get?
We gotta come together with an application for first, and then, submit that to HR. So she can print it and throw it out there, and I'll just see what becomes of it. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna be surprisingly disappointed. No, I don't think it's gonna be.
Might take some time.
Yes.
As far as an application, we can start with this, and then we talk with the weed board, As far as what extra duties, if you're interested, this is our hourly rate. How many hours did you spend in the field? I know that you're kind of getting that's another thing. Since you've resigned, now what does that do with payroll? Because we're paying for part of your salary, correct?
No,
No?
the
Like
county
this
pays half and NDSU.
pays the rest. Okay, so none of that
And
comes through our
the weed
weed board books.
control paid a set fee for the year. I don't know how this is gonna affect Brittany's salary. 1/5 of her salary is weed control.
But that was before I was secretary.
Well, you still handle cost share and all that, yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to go to maybe discuss that with.
I've talked to Allison where we've made the request with her that we were gonna go back to 100% extension. And that there is no secretarial, money that comes out of weed board anymore.
Okay, I'll have
extension.
to talk to Alice, so I'll have to change payroll. So that would be effective.
And I don't know
as of
if it's
today.
effective of today or what.
Today
But I
would
think-
be a good day to make it effective because payroll was Friday. It will give me a clean cutoff. I mean, well, not really because last week would have been weed control also.
I made that request before we decided to resign.
Right, but nobody has told me, so I will have to ask her when to make it effective. If it was next Monday to make it effective, it would be.
I'll need to go to the county commissioners and ask for them to, give that approval.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know why the position was ever part-time to begin with.
I do.
Well, I know why. I mean, it is more work than part-time.
But whatever. I would say, Brian, if you and I want to sit down, we can write a job description and work with Alice and get this moving forward and get it advertised as quick as we can and we'll kind of go from there, but, if you, I guess, if we get complaints, are you willing to be the contact person? I probably am not gonna take complaints.
No, at this point, you can't. You don't have that authority anymore. So you have to say, I'm not that person anymore, and you gotta forward it to somebody else.
And who that is, I guess that's up to you guys.
Sometimes they get called into the auditor's office. We fill a lot of different phone calls in there.
I would just like to know as the phone calls company first.
Where do we go?
By default, that goes to the president of the board. That's the way I see it, and most boards operate. That's just where it goes. And then if you want to delegate one of us to go look into it, like we kind of have to cover this. You know?
Well, somebody might have to help me with it, cause I, as far as
Or you could divvy it up by your district.
that,
Whatever district is in, that's who you're supposed to handle those calls.
that isn't
That would
that
make
isn't a bad
sense.
idea.
Then bring it back to the
Phone
board.
numbers are already listed there, you know? So you could have that and say, hey, send this to this board member, he's in that district. No, that's not a problem.
But does
The
that
new map
give
has it
the
all on there.
board member authority to go to that place?
Yeah,
I
that's
guess-
the next thing.
So this says that a weed control officer can also be a board member. So I suppose we'd have to delegate that person or make a motion to make that person responsible for that.
Because right now, we as board members,
Unless we were all,
You haven't done it
we
before.
haven't done it, no.
We have
Unless we were all temporary
weed officers.
weed officers till we get the situation straightened out.
Last year you had 2 complaints?
that we filed paperwork on.
Right. So,
Is he allowed to help me file paperwork and stuff?
There will not be a signature of mine on it,
No, I don't. But I mean, you can advise me.
I will help you if you guys have questions on how to do it. But I'm not putting my name.
No, I don't expect you to do
and then give
that.
yourself a sunset clause, like we figure it out, January 1st, you're done, right? You don't have to. That would work, that's up to you, but,
I don't know, we're asking a lot of a guy that got run off.
yeah. He's saying he'd help, I'm not.
I'll help you. I'm, like I said, within
Kind of hard,
parameters.
but he's been railroaded into this, and at this point, Yeah, commend him for what he's saying and helping us, and all around here.
I think that the one in that district should be the one that is notified, and then they can come to me after that.
That works.
I don't know what else to do.
That's
Just-
fair, till we get
Everybody have
somebody in.
current maps.
Just bring it to the board as a whole.
As a whole,
You can do that. If there's a
that
complaint,
would
because
make
then
me
I'll be
feel a
like
lot
temporary weed control officers and just bring your
but we
information.
can't have we'd have to have a meeting then, which I guess is okay.
You can't group text.
I know.
Improve text.
We can't.
Get your fingers slim.
Take your phone away.
There you go.
Well, the thing is, they can subpoena your entire phone.
We get it.
It's just a liability to the members themselves.
Okay, is that the way we want to do it? Do we need a motion or?
Yeah, we're out of options, I think that's the route we're gonna have to take, we'll just go through, hopefully we'll get no complaints. You know, last year's only 2, maybe do none this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I got a lot more complaints than that. There was some that, when I go and investigate, they were deemed to be bad enough to where they needed to get a certified letter. I get a lot of complaints.
My dad was weed control officer, there's a lot of personal grudges trying to be civil.
And you have to differentiate that as well.
There's quite a number of them that it was neighbor against neighbor, somebody didn't like somebody down the road with me. Filed a complaint.
I mean, we have no other option.
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with that. Do we need a motion to make that a thing or just an understanding on the board?
Just an understanding should be good enough,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be. What are we gonna do with secretary?
I'm open.
You were gonna say something?
I was not going to now.
Rick, correct me if I'm wrong, shouldn't they have a motion though, if they're all gonna act as weed board till?
Well, they're not really gonna act as,
Well, somebody's gotta be, right? If you're gonna represent your district?
Maybe put it in there until a weed control officer has been hired, that the board will accept responsibilities for their district. Something along that line. Any complaints would go to their district until the weed control officer is hired. You could do that.
I guess.
what are we gonna say?
What do you do?
No, no, sorry. Oh, you mean, oh, I'm just gonna say. Tell Brittany to be the secretary. Just pay her a lot more.
No, and I guess that what Brittany and I talked about is I think there has to be a separation of all the stuff that's going on. I want there to be a separation of the extension office.
From the weed board.
Yeah,
From the weed board. I think we gotta figure this out. It is not worth it to her. And then the next thing is if you keep her in as secretary, are they gonna use her to get to me? And that's just a bad atmosphere, and I'm not going down that road.
And that's only gonna happen if she has been there.
It's not fair to her.
Where'd your resignation letters
We could
go?
combine secretary treasurer for the time being, I mean,
Would you be willing to keep notes at a meeting?
yeah. I've done that quite often.
Yeah,
I have to work on my penmanship.
I don't know what I did with them.
Spelling, so.
I know, it's something I can't read my
His
own.
the resignation letters, I thought at least, do you have?
I got it.
Yeah, well, just so Brittany's got some, Brittany can put them with the minutes.
I can,
You can
get
make
from my,
okay.
do you want to have a motion about the forwarding to the district representatives?
Will you come see me when you're done and we'll see the truth of this?
Okay. I think we need one.
You do it for this.
Yeah, we can do it. I'll make that motion. So we go, we word it as any noxious weed complaints that are brought to the weed board will be forwarded to the person that is in their district. So this is
Okay.
And then brought to the weed board
as
to
a
work
whole.
out on as a whole.
Do you want until weed control officer is hired in there?
I
as well?
think so, yeah, because
Yeah.
once the weed control officer's
Or
hired,
just say appointed.
yeah, the
Could be an appointed,
be
but not a
his
hire.
deal.
Appointed by board approval. Is that
Sure. That would work because then we could temporarily appoint somebody to go look at it. On the board.
Okay, Linda, you're thinking you would do the secretary stuff?
I think we didn't do this
Oh,
second.
second, I'm sorry, second. Motion, and motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Is this secretary until we can find one, or you just want to be it, or?
Whatever you guys want, I mean, I'm here.
So then at this point, Yeah, we would need a motion to do that, wouldn't we? To change the secretary, yep. So in light of Brittany's resignation, then I'd make a motion to make Linda
Secretary.
Secretary
I think a lot of
treasurer.
places are combined like that.
right. They are.
Second,
Yeah, I'll second.
all in favor,
I
opposed? Motion carried.
Now, you said there's how much spray left? Not much?
Spray left, there's next to nothing.
Next to nothing.
And you're gonna take it down to
It's
the,
loaded, it's ready, I'll drop it off with Kenny and we'll put it out in the county shop.
okay,
So, if I need some, what you got left, can I pick it up Friday?
We're going.
Or Saturday or Sunday, yeah.
you gotta have somebody to sign it out.
No,
That'll probably end, Tim. I mean, seriously, I don't know that anyone would do what we've done for the past umpteen years.
right.
But-
I agree.
And we need a building.
On Thursday, I was here until 5:30 for someone to pick up chemical.
That's the luxury of agronomy center, you know, I mean, they can, in their hours and then that's it.
Sure.
And that'll just be what they have to get used to, right? Like we'll all have to go between 8 and 4, right? That's your hours at the shop,
7 by
7 to 5.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah.
there's no, a lot of times there's nobody there.
a lot of times.
Is it gonna be?
But I can't sign, nobody there can sign it out anyway, because we're not
Right.
commercially licensed.
You have to have a commercial license person to.
Yeah, because mine was
Do it.
gone. I let mine go.
Well,
It's all about
boards out to the state.
I don't know where this puts you in the county shop. Well, we put it here this way. Other than the chemical that you have, Grazon PD3, there's nothing restricted use that's left.
Okay.
But if you ever get inspected,
Mm-hmm,
now you're our storage facility.
right.
And there needs to be a certified person that's going to be there to do the inspection. With the Grazon PD3, the general use pesticides are going to be fine with.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have any carryover of that Grazon PD3, make sure that you got somebody that's certified commercially to go through the inspection.
Well, now, with that, since we're gonna give that chemical to Scott, we
You
should
know-
be okay then,
Especially if he uses it up.
right?
Yeah. Well, the other option that you guys have is to ask Scott to sort at his
Or if
place.
we had any left.
If he's an employee of the weed board, you probably would be in compliance with that. To see if he'd be willing to store it there, maybe give you a corner. And I don't know if he's got a heated facility.
He must have carryovers.
I would think he would.
Yeah, he that little
He may.
building, you know, it's on the west side of his
Yeah.
place. It's heated, and he's got a section of it that's just his chemical
Right.
that he's got.
You can ask him if he'd be willing to do that for winter carryover. We've had the discussion of where do you take it, if it's over to Enterbase and Washburn or what, but
Winter carryover.
that's the goal, is that we don't have hardly anything, and we are there. I mean, there's not much left.
Yeah.
But
Is there still that option to ask the guys that buy it, that if they wanna buy early and keep it themselves at their
we have
shops?
we have nowhere to put it right now.
No, he's talking,
Like towards fall, we could, as a weed board, we could notify some people that buy from us and say, hey,
Like say I buy whatever chemical is left, and then call me and say, do you wanna buy it for next year?
Oh, yeah.
there's ways
That's a
around
lot
it.
of advertisement, but
I've got a heated shop too, and I've got pallet racking, and I'm commercially applicator licensed, so if we need a spot
Property,
to get it, then there's possibly.
but it has to be a county property, right? We're storing it.
Well, the county equipment does. I don't know about the county.
Yeah, but
The
chemical
cost share
should
would be
be too.
The chemical, have to be or not.
What we use,
Oh, yes, we take it up to interbid.
Yeah.
It's not on
It's
top.
not.
not county center there.
Yeah, Phil.
what is it, qualified? You know, they have license.
I think it's just a working with Scott thing, if he's willing to do that, if we can keep our it'll get us through this year, because there's not quantity enough to where it's gonna be a burden this year. And who knows what next year looks like. There may not be a cost share program.
Would we want to talk to Seaford?
You could put feelers out there.
Wouldn't hurt to pick his brain.
I think to talk to him, but you'd have to talk to his board too, whether they're willing to let him.
Well, if he
do that.
doesn't want to do it.
Right, there's no need to talk to the board then, right? Yeah.
But I mean,
He's got I'm gonna say an assistant too. That
Yep.
Masaraba gal, she's really good too. It's worth a visit.
does anybody know his phone number?
You, 870. Just memorize with me. Yeah. Let's give it to you.
Okay, anything else?
Probably can't schedule a next meeting until we get some answers from Alice.
She's kind of hard to nail down too, I think, isn't
I'm
she?
not sure what day she's gonna be here this week.
You send her a text, and just tell her to call you. She's usually pretty good at it.
Okay.
Getting back to you.
I don't know if I've got her number. You're busy, I'm sure, Rick, huh?
The next 2 days, I don't know.
What? Somebody give me her phone
Yeah,
number.
I'm looking.
They're on cameras. Probably shouldn't. I don't know if she wants it public.
It's on our website.
Is it? Okay.
She's not a county phone.
301
I
0446.
didn't hear you.
301 0446 is her cell.
0446.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also on our website.
Okay. I'll call her tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know if she might have gone down to that meeting, that 3% cap meeting was this afternoon.
Yeah, because we asked her to come to this even.
And I think she maybe went to that. I was gonna watch it, but I'm gonna have to watch the recorded one because it started at 1, so I would have missed half of it.
Everybody happy?
No.
Anything else? Anybody wants to?
Everybody give me the mileage sheets.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yep, I got them.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys.